Hello guys, welcome back. So I want to give a very, very objective, very, very clear example of what we're really trying to master as singers, what we're deeply, on a deeper level, trying to understand about our technique, about how to sing better. This is very, very simple, but it can be very, very complicated to find. And there are many levels to what I'm about to show you. So myself recently, I've had experiences where I have all of a sudden realized, there's a deeper level to this understanding that I've been missing for years, for a decade. How did I miss that? Typically, there's always another level of understanding, a deeper kind of appreciation of what it is that I'm gonna show you in a moment. This makes singing so as simple as it truly is for naturals, and it makes it seem so simple that you will overlook it if you're a struggling singer, and you will feel like, yeah, but there's got to be more to it. You know, I've got to support. I've got to make sure my soft palate is raised. I've got to make sure I've got an open throat. All that stuff. All of that stuff will start to come into your head. All you need to do is blow air, coordinate the folds, articulate or shape the sound. That's it. Now, what I'm going to show you is specific to the vocal cords themselves, because that's typically where most of the problems are for people. Airflow can be an issue. It's typically something that's relatively easy to adjust, and it doesn't take a particularly large amount of time to adjust. If you ask most people to breathe out consistently at different rates, they can. It's just about applying that, to the voice and having an awareness of, okay, I've got to keep the air coming through. Shaping the sound should be elementary. It should be as simple as when we speak. Really, there's nothing to learn there, in all honesty. If you feel like you have to articulate in funny ways and change everything up in your articulation relative to how you speak, relative to how you would just shape sound normally, then there's an issue with your technique, and it's not typically the articulation. Typically, adjustments with articulation are band-aiding deeper issues, and those deeper issues generally come down to coordinating the folds. So, how simple is it? Why do naturals get it so easily? Because it's so basic and it's so simple that it's overlooked. Now, there's really only two things that we need to isolate and separate and understand to get the voice working in the right way. Two functions of the vocal folds. Two very simple sensations that if you can understand, okay, this is different to this, I have to understand these things and how they interact, how they work separately, how they relate to each other. But I need to see them very clearly as two separate functions in my mind. Once you get that, then you're going to be able to make progress. So what are the sensations? What is it I want to show you that's so mind-blowing? It's not going to blow your mind. You'll probably think, yeah, this is just nonsense, and you'll maybe click off the video. But I promise you, this is it. This is all there is to it. There's two sensations you need to worry about. The first is the horizontal, the connecting of the vocal folds. Now this one's typically, we can do this in isolation without any pitch adjustment, and we can do this, most people can do it in chest voice, no problem at all. So we just do this sound, we go that is the vocal cords going from open to closed. Now, we can talk about different degrees of closure and balancing vocal cord closure, and that's all well and good. But the first thing to understand is this feeling here, is bringing the vocal cords together. It's connecting them. The vocal cords need to connect to a certain amount or a certain degree to phonate, to make sound. So we have to be able to find at least enough to get some type of phonation going. Obviously, I'm breathing air out for that to happen. So that's connecting the vocal cords. Now the other sensation can be a little bit harder to find, and it can be a little bit more subtle. It can be a little bit more tricky to pin down. The reason for that is we can't experience pitch adjustment without some degree of closure. Now, I can experience closure without pitch adjustment. If I make no action to stretch the vocal cords, I keep completely relaxed on the folds and I just close them like I did. That is called the fundamental frequency of your voice. It's going to vary from gender or between, even within the genders. But if there's no adjustment, we connect the cords. There's no pitch adjustment. There's no cricothyroid adjustment to stretch the cords, which is what I'm going to show you now. So we have to have some amount of closure to experience pitch adjustment. Keep that in mind, because yes, I'm bringing the cords together a little bit to show you this. But what we layer on top of the closure is this sensation. This, we go ho, 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 ho. Have a listen to it. Ho, 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 ho. Now, it's a simple type of quality, but it's your ability to find that sensation and distinguish it from h, 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 h. Distinguish those two sensations. One is the vertical adjustment, one is the horizontal adjustment, h, h, h. Now, it's your ability to bring those two sensations together and have them work as a team. That is your ability to sing. Now, some singers, particularly women, are very intuitive and natural when it comes to the cricothyroid adjustment, the stretch, the vertical adjustment. This oh, oh. They're very good at that typically. They don't have much problem. You ask them to stretch the cords, they can just do it. Where girls tend to struggle is they do have some closure. They either start losing it as they go up higher, or they don't have much variety in that closure. Now, you can sing very good if you've got good pitch adjustment, instinctively, intuitively, you can sing very well. It might not be the most powerful sound, but you're going to sound nice and pretty to people. Now, guys, more typically the opposite. They struggle with the cricothyroid stretch, but they can find connection or closure more easily. I'm talking very generally, and I'm talking, on average. You certainly get girls who struggle with pitch adjustment and find closure easy. You get guys who struggle with closure and find pitch adjustment easy. But the first port of call, the first job really, in terms of really getting down to the basics of technique, is realizing that's all there is to it. Everything you hear typically, unless it's something, on the fringes, like a lot of vocal distortion or overtone singing, or something that is outside of what we would just call mainstream singing. If you're within that mainstream, within the norm, all there is breathe air, combine those two sensations, and shape the sound. That's it. Most people who are struggling, who have real problems with their voice, have at some point along the road started adding more complexity and more clutter to that simple 3-step process. So whilst we learn and understand these functions separately, as we improve, we start to realize that one adjustment on one side will impact the adjustment you need to make on the other side. This is where the complexity starts to come in. When there's a problem, most of the issue for struggling singers is they find the wrong solution. They try and push more, blow more air. They try and, support more. What they don't do is they don't think, okay, I got good closure, but I missed the pitch, I missed the stretch. Okay, I need a little bit more of, need a little bit more of that sensation as I go up next time. What they don't think is, okay, so I got the pitch, like it floated up there so nice, really good. But the quality of the sound got a bit lighter than I wanted. Okay, so I've got to get that same pitch adjustment, but now I've got to connect the chords a little bit more fully, take a little bit more confidence with that closure up there, and fix the problem. The challenge for struggling singers is getting back to this basic fundamental level of just pitch and closure, and trying to figure out, okay, what is all the junk in the way? Why can't I just get to simple, clean vocalizing again? And that's my challenge as a coach, is to take somebody and say, hey, hold your horses. Let's just take some simple ideas. Let's see where you're going wrong on the most basic level. That's really where you get the deep level of learning with singers that, frankly, is missing with most coaching. And frankly, it's been missing from my coaching for a lot of my time working with students. It's hard for a coach and for a singer to get to this level, to mine out all of the clutter and get to this, rough diamond at the bottom of the mine, so to speak. It's really hard. If you can get there as a coach, as a singer, and you can get there from somewhere that was really tough, you've got a good chance of being able to help a lot of singers very quickly and very easily. And I'm looking into 2020, and I guess this is a Christmas video, rounding up 2019, thinking, okay, if I can get down to this level that I'm at with my own voice right now in the last few weeks, and this has just been the last few weeks with myself, if I can get down to this level with my own voice, if I can get down to this level with my coaching, which I haven't done before, this job is going to be the easiest job in the world, because nobody else, frankly, is doing it. Nobody else is doing it on this level, other than a handful of people who I've looked up to over the years who have figured this out, this deeper truth that's going on underneath the surface of all the noise and all the nonsense you get on YouTube and just generally with singing teaching. Things are about to change around here in terms of what I can offer to students. So I'm going to keep my rates as they are. At some point they're going to be going up a lot because there's going to be a lot of demand for my work. So I would say get in now when the price is low, because in a few years' time, it's going to cost you a lot of money to spend an hour with me. Outside of that, guys, I will catch you very soon. Have a great Christmas. Have a great New Year. And let's look forward to the next decade. Let's build something special. Take care. Bye-bye.